Joining us, last year's Pros vs. Joes co-champ, the DFWC Dynasty World Champ in 2015. He sold his $750 Dynasty team for an incomprehensible $9,000. Let's break Underwood of Dynasty. His gains on both fantasy football and crypto last year were so impressive that I can't even talk about them. He finished 8th overall in the FFPC main event. The only man I'm partnering with this year, the hardest working man in the fantasy business, the incomparable Biplab Mandal. Bip!
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Wow, that's the first time anyone has ever said that in a conversation I've been involved in. That is history right there.
I feel like I need
the
to pump
comment
some
was
oxygen.
more for Chris, not for you, Zeb.
I feel like I need to puff some oxygen after that intro, Bip.
God. Hey, Bip, I know we're going to talk about football, but maybe we can talk a little option trading if time allows at some point today.
Sure.
Cool.
Thanks for the tip, though. I'm making some money there.
I
Nice.
will bet 3-1 that option trading conversation gets sexual at some point.
I don't know. Well,
No,
Biplab's involved. I mean, his entry music is sexual enough.
Bip, how's draft season treating you so far?
It's been good. I really enjoy these slow drafts. Last year I started doing those because COVID was driving me crazy and lockdown and staying at home. But I feel it's a good distraction, during the off season or building up to the main season. Work has gotten a lot busier for me these days, so I can't. I'm not doing that much of live drafting yet. So the slow drafts have kept me afloat. I think I've done 20 plus football guys, 6 or 7 main events already.
So 27, how many more do you have to go?
I just don't plan that way. It depends on my mood and what I feel like. I do know I still have all the Vegas live main events, and I'll probably squeeze in another 2 or 3 main events in between. So total of 15 main events this year for me.
And I know I've asked you this like 3 or 4 times, but we're drafting Thursday morning in Vegas at 10 a.m. 9 o'clock.
Yep.
I'll be there at 8:59. Like a pro.
So are you guys doing the super bracket or what?
No,
What are
we
you
are
doing?
only doing main events. We don't do super.
On Thursday? They're doing them on Thursday?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, we got
So-
second spot. We have a different team name. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
So you're not gonna let me talk to the Antonio Gibson, the second spot, are you?
No, I'm not Zeb.
Turbo package.
Turbo package.
That was my nickname in high school.
I picture Chris reading, like every morning waking up and searching Antonio Gibson with a bottle of lotion by his side. I don't know.
I have to do it while I saw my robe on.
I'm sure Chris has lots of Antonio Gibson, so hopefully he makes it back in second round.
Doubtful. So Bip, how long have you been playing fantasy?
I'm less than 10 years, I would say. I got into fantasy at work. So I was a big time cricket fan, right? Coming from India and coming to US, and I never understood this game, but I'm very competitive, and at work people started pulling money and playing fantasy football, and I thought, okay, I'll do it. And coincidentally, I won the first year. So either they sucked or my research was good. So and that made me get a bit bolder. And I remember buying a dispersal draft team at FFPC. That league, I'm still there, 501. Me and Joseph Papriski, we bought in that year. And then I started enjoying and then getting some little success. And so my moves got bolder and bolder. You start with the $35, you get success, you get into football guys, you get success. And then I realized, no matter how good you are, you need to be lucky at the end. And if your research is solid, you'll compete. You don't need to know the technicals of the game and whatnot. And so, yeah, that's been my fantasy journey. And I've been lucky. that way.
What percent of fantasy football do you think is luck?
Ooh, I would say in the tournaments, more than 40% is luck, because even if you have skills, it only gets you to the final 3 weeks, and then that's all luck. And to win big money in a tournament, everything has to align, right? No matter how great team you had last year, if you did not have Alvin Kamara, you did not win a tournament, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a lot higher in a national tournament contest like that with 10, 20,000
Right.
people. But what do you
But with
think?
dynasties,
What do you think, like just generally, like in a 12-man league? Do you think
in a
like
12-man league or a dynasty, when I would say the luck percent will be 20%, because you need to still get to the finals and win it. And why I say 20% is because now you don't have repeatable players in the tournaments. You have repeatable players, so you really need, like last year, what happened, the Miles Gaskins of the world to complement with Alvin Kamara or a JD McKissick. You need those kind of players in tournament, but you'll get away not having them in a 12-team league. So I'll say 20% luck.
Hey Chris, did you hear him say JD McKissick? That's right, bitch.
That's a conversation that I hear come up frequently, is people debating, the percent of luck in fantasy. So I just wanted to get some input from one of the masters. That's a really impressive resume you've put together in 10 years, but I've been playing for more than 20 years and I don't know if I have the credentials.
Yeah, I was actually in that 500-1 with BIP when he joined, and he made like a trade. I think he traded like like a future first for Jimmy Graham, and everyone just gave him hell over it. And like hindsight, it wasn't that bad of a trade. But at the time, he was like, Bip was the new guy, and he was making it seemed like he was selling stuff for cheap, and then it turned into the opposite. He turned into the greedy bastard he is today. So I've been able to see him evolve, So.
Yep. And I think I've been lucky having not only good secondary research, but a good company of friends. I'm that kind of person who doesn't have big ego, and I can get along with anybody. I've seen in the fantasy community, sometimes if you have a big resume, a lot of people are pretty snobbish and have a high attitude around them as if they know everything. And I'm not one. So I'll get along with Chris, yourself, your enemies, your friends, everybody. And that has helped. And what I do is I take everyone's opinion, map it in my mind, and then form my opinion. That really works for me.
Yeah, I think the chat that we've been a part of for a couple of years really, it's iron sharpening iron kind of deal.
Yep.
We're all strong-willed and opinionated, and we argue and talk a lot of shit. But I think what you just said about putting that in your mind and documenting it and to help form your own opinion. Like the other night, Joe drafted a guy that I had to Google, Xavier Jones. And now a week later, this guy's creeping up the ADP. He's getting talked about on Sirius.
Yep.
And he's really got some heat behind him all suddenly. And I still haven't even seen this guy's tape yet, but I'm going to be all over it.
Yep. And Joe, I just drafted him in a main event in 13th round. And Joe, he's interesting. I think he's one of the more lucky players I have seen, and I'm generalizing here, but he has this magic, I don't know, wand or something. Whatever he trades for, suddenly, we may think it is bad, but come playoffs, his players end up clicking. And I know he's won some prizes in the 500-1 with a shitty team, but he's good. And he's a football coach. I think he teaches football, so he probably understands some of the technicalities that I do not. But that's
doesn't he also arm wrestle? Like, isn't he big into arm wrestling?
I think so. I think he does CrossFit and all that stuff.
Yeah. I whenever I see him on the chat or in a league, it's like, picture that. Remember that Sylvester Stallone movie?
Yeah, he reminds me.
Yeah, I think of that.
He reminds me of a polished version of Kurt Paul. You know, they both are terrible drafters. I don't agree with the players they like, except Kurt never gets lucky. Joe gets lucky.